I hope you can hear me now.
Yes, we can hear you very well. Thank you. Please go ahead with your presentation.
That's great. Okay, thank you very much for this opportunity to present. So my name is Jan Willem Van Casteren. I'm the CEO, co-founder of eProd Solutions. We offer agricultural supply chain management platform for smallholder contract farming, basically. So I'm not a specialist of data privacy and protection, but of course we need to make sure that our clients can comply. And that's why I would like to give some presentations how we deal with some of the different aspects that Jane has mentioned. So maybe just to quickly introduce the platform, our clients are farmer cooperatives, agricultural commodity traders, food processors. We offer an affordable platform that works off the shelf, so we can actually deploy it very fast. It's more like a type of sub application, an ERP they call it in IT terms, and it's optimized really for areas where there's no internet or where the internet is very poor. It can synchronize, for example, in the 2G network. There's a lot of data in the system, and I think that's why it's important to share a little bit how we deal with some of the data privacy issues. So we work in 20 or so African countries, and we work in many different sectors. So we have a very generic platform, but all our clients, they work with small-scale farmers. And of course, there's a challenge to manage the data privacy, but also to make sure that, first of all, we get quality data. And the data privacy is often not so much of a concern for the farmers. They're more interested in what do they get from sharing the data. What kind of partnerships can it result in? So I want to give you some examples there. So our platform has a desktop application, the mobile application, data is in the cloud, and just trying to mention a couple of the issues that can later then be used in the panel discussion. We can integrate all kinds of hardware, Bluetooth skills, Bluetooth printers, scanners, sensors. We can integrate other software. That could be a financial accounting platform, for example. It could also be an ERP, for example, for the factory. And we can integrate all kinds of services, for example, agronomic advisory services or yield forecasting services, weather advice. Because we have so many modules in the system, we can actually really help our clients tackle very complex challenges. Now, in case there are multiple stakeholders, like you often see, for example, like an international coffee trader buying from multiple farmers, or an NGO that needs to report on ESGs, or a bank that needs to do credit scoring data. So in that case, we can create a data warehouse where information is shared depending on what has been agreed between our clients and our partners. And we would call those banks or traders partners in this case. And of course, they have access to different parts of the data set, and there's all kinds of implications there. But just to give you an idea what kind of data is collected, this is a screenshot from the mobile app where a farmer is registered. So you have information about phone number, bank account, location. You can manage additional information through surveys. You can also register fields. So that will be, again, location, maybe polygon, more and more important also for compliance, for example, with EUDR. You can also then manage surveys, additional at the field, for example, surveys for scouting pests and diseases. Of course, you can also manage surveys at farmer or group level for evaluation, baseline studies, things like that. Now, on the desktop application, there's more functionality, for example, to manage contracts with farmers and change prices and things like that. But what is more and more important, I want to give you the example of the EUDR, Deforestation-Free Regulation, where locations need to be captured, polygons, for example, and you need to be able to identify which fields might be in areas identified as forest by the EU. Then we have integrations with other platforms like the EUDR platform, basically, where these overlapping areas need to be flagged. And then when an exporter fills a container, there is a due diligence statement that identifies for all the bags, all the product, who might be in violation. So another example of an integration is with a Dutch company. They have a tool to test the soil quality and give soil nutrient recommendations, basically fertilizer recommendations. The way the app is designed, you have basically to fill in data on their application and send the results by email. In our case, the results are integrated, so you pick the farmer in eProd on their app and the field, and then the results are shared on the mobile app in eProd for the extension officer linked to the field, or they are broken into smaller pieces by SMS. We also have options to share information, for example, in collaboration with banks, where credit limits are shared through USSD platforms, basically tools where banks can take over the loan portfolio of our clients, the typical anchor firms, including credit scoring, including directing them to shopkeepers, where, for example, the shopkeepers would use our app then to identify the farmer and give the products. They would get paid by the bank, and at the same time, the farmer would have a loan in the system, which they can then repay through checkoff when they deliver the product. So let's come to consent sharing. I selected, just picked a few screenshots, but I just basically created a very short movie that I want to show you. So here you see on the mobile app, a farmer is selected. A farmer is then, there is an option to manage the consent. So you can have consent for multiple actions, whether it is for the biometrics or for the sharing information with AgroCares for soil analysis or for others. So you pick it for which purpose the consent is shared. Then there is an explanation on the app. In this case, the extension officer is ticking the box. And then this is actually for sharing biometric data. So you see here we integrate with MasterCard Corporation. They have a program, MasterCard Community Pass. So here in this case, the farmer is given consent to share biometrics. Now, this could be used, for example, to confirm transactions. So let's say a farmer is taking a loan in the field. Then in that case, the farmer can, let's say, go to the shopkeeper. Okay, so I'm showing you in a short recording how a shopkeeper can select the products. So let's say a farmer has a credit line. They can go to a shopkeeper. This is Kip Jogger. He will be issued items up to a certain amount. So these are, for example, seedlings on the balance sheet. So you can see actually, you can also manage loans, but also free of charge distribution. In this case, the farmer is taking 200 seedlings against a value of 2,000 shilling. Then to manage the consent, oh, sorry, you can actually link the seedling batch in the system. Now, the farmer confirms the transaction with a hand palm scan. In this case, it's both left and right. You could also do facial scan in our platform. And then basically you have a validation of the transaction. That means that the farmer has then used the biometrics to give consent. So I must say for us, this is still relatively new area. We're also trying to work out how to best implement this, make sure that our clients can comply, that you get good quality data, but also that it doesn't hinder. The ultimate objective is basically to enable farmers to become more productive and grow their income. Yeah, because some of these measures are quite difficult to manage. I think we can play an important role as an ERP provider, but there is a downside to some of these aspects.
Thanks, Jan Willem. I think an excellent presentation. Very nice that you were able to share some of the videos, because I think it really helps to show how the system works. So next up will be our panel discussion.